Marmalade sandwich.
Marmalade sandwich.
Marmalade. When in doubt, marmalade. Lady marmalade.
What's the difference between that and jam?
A big difference.
Yeah. How do you
Jam,
not
jam is
jam
from
and
strawberries
marmalade? Yeah.
and berries.
And don't even bring in jelly in the situation.
Oh, that's
don't
a whole
don't
nother,
insult.
That's a whole nother preservative.
I just realized there was 3.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And pectin is in jelly.
What's the other one? The other one's made from bones.
Gelatin.
Bones.
Gelatins.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I just learned something. Bones? Why bones?
That's,
Bone
what
yeah.
makes a jello.
It
It's not vegan.
yeah, once it's all shaped up and
Yeah.
turned into a ground powder.
It looks like it would be vegan. Definitely not vegan.
It gelatinizes. But so do other things too. Like xanthan gum. It's a thickening agent.
I think I'm going to throw up. That's gross.
Welcome back to Stream This, where we stream shows and let you know if you should.
Stream this.
Yes, and we are watching Paddington 2, recommended to us by not only Chris Ray, but also Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Paddington 2 is incredible. I fucking told you.
The Nicolas Cage. I'm so passionate about this movie. There's so many things.
I'm JP Lambiase,
I'm Chris Ray.
I'm Javier Lopez.
and we are we are the Paddington Bear crew.
Yeah, dude.
We're adults
so
watching
good.
children's movies that actually, I think that I learned more as an adult from this kid's movie than I did from any adult movie I've seen all year.
Hang on, how old do you think I am? Oh, about 80?
It's one of those movies that, and I've just traveled recently, so I'm just going to share the story right off the rip because this is why it solidified why I love the movie. I went to Europe. I happened to be in London the day of the Queen's funeral, and I didn't know that the Queen and Paddington had like a history, like a long, long history. So after the Queen's funeral, all the bars, not one, but every single bar I was at, played Paddington 2.
Wow.
And it was like their comfort movie. It was like what the Queen liked, and now we love it.
But hey, so that's like if the president was like really tight with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, good
And then
correlation.
we would just be
good
like
parallel.
watching Mickey Mouse Club.
So basically what we have here, guys, is we have a sequel to Paddington, which I have not seen. And I was also convinced by Chris that you do not need to see the first one to get this. But the premise is you actually kind of get an opening scene of the origin story of Paddington, kind of being just like a lost bear in peril. And these 2 older bears take him in and raise him.
I'm afraid we're not going to London after all.
Why not?
We've got a cub to raise.
And now he's an adult or a young adult and has this goal to give his mom the experience of London through this book that he sees at some antique shop.
Aunt Lucy always dreamed of coming to London and never had the chance. But if she saw this...
But that was sad too, because only the mama bear got us experience.
Yeah, no, Uncle Pastuzio. If you don't know,
He's
Paddington too.
late uncle. But here's the thing about men in general. Our life expectancy is much lower than women.
Mm-hmm.
So
You should pipe down and enjoy your dinner, because it might be your last.
that's why they settled down with us, and we have life insurance. But anyway,
They have a whole nother set of life in Boca. That's crazy.
so
That's why I'm single. I don't have life insurance.
yeah, you are so marketable right now.
I just
There should be women lined out the door.
You know, it's funny because Mr. Brown is in insurance, so it's like it's also in the movie, so it's not even.
Oh
even that
yeah,
far
well yeah,
off, right?
his adopted parents.
His
What would you
adopted
call them? Yeah.
parents. Yeah, you know all about that.
So the family element is great in this movie. I totally get the heart from the beginning. Paddington learns early on to just be kind from his biological. Well, still not biological.
He's adopted
From Aunt Lucy, right.
their
Like,
parents.
it's almost like, what was it, Waterboy? He's like,
Yeah.
mama
Yeah.
said, mama.
Aunt Lucy said.
Aunt Lucy. I've had it up to here with Aunt Lucy.
I get very Waterboy vibes now that you bring that up.
Very, yeah, because he's just very wholesome. He
But
doesn't
the
know anybody.
parents weren't against them playing no damn foosball. So I didn't get that from him. But the plot really thickens once we meet Hugh Grant. He ends up becoming the antagonist in this.
Find all the clues, we're rich again. And our dog food days are done.
Which I wasn't expecting until I heard him talk. And didn't he remind you of Frederick from Harry Potter, the one professor that everyone had googly eyes over?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wasn't he in the Goblet of Fire? Even Hermione.
He wasn't in that, but I can see the correlation of the character.
Yeah, so he's kind of like an over-the-top theatrical, but kind of over-the-top, but over the hill. Right?
Yeah, no, well, I love it because it's literally Hugh Grant taking the piss on himself, right? Like it's so funny.
Eating
He's like,
dogs.
Can I recommend Harley's Gourmet Din-Dins? More taste, more goodness, more, dare one say, class?
Yeah, he himself is an old washed up actor playing an old washed up actor
doing
and he
dog
leans into it.
commercials.
Yeah, and he does dog commercials, and not just any dog commercials, but he is dressed as a dog
On camera.
with the nose, eating and saying woof and eating dog food is like the last little
But
thing.
it is
Yum.
expensive dog. It's premium
It's-
dog.
Yeah, right. It's like the Purina
Like,
of
think about it. If he was eating like I don't know, Dollar Tree brand dog food, then that would be the rock bottom. He's not rock bottom.
Well,
He's still on the line.
from Shakespeare to dog commercials. You know what I mean?
It's dog food. I think that's
But
as bad as rock bottom as you can get.
Yeah.
No matter if you're doing the commercial or you're eating it. Ugh.
I mean, I've eaten some dog food. It wasn't that bad.
His
but-
agent is the girl from Almost Fabulous, like Ab Fab. It's just, like insane how many great cameos are in this movie.
So the plot thickens even more once we realize this book is not only like a nostalgic or a sentimental thing for Paddington to deliver, but also is some Nicolas Cage national treasure thing.
This is no dusty antique. Hidden on every page, a little lady pointing to a clue.
Built into it, like this whole story of how there's clues. And then you see the entire, the first act kind of the second act come into play when someone robs the actual antique store.
Dude,
Stop! Thief! Come back with that book!
it's like a Dan Brown novel, bro.
Yeah.
It's like going into the Illuminati. It's like
Yeah.
Angels and Demons.
Robs
It's
it.
like-
Paddington is the perfect prime suspect for this, almost too perfect.
And all along, he was robbing you blind.
Paddington!
We need to suspend belief a little bit, folks. This is a children's movie, so let's just say that the incidences aren't in his favor.
It's Teddy Bear Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's on its surface, everybody just accepts that it's a talking bear.
Anyway. Eeny, meeny, miny. Bear.
Oh, it's a talking bear.
Like even Hugh Grant, he's like trying to pick somebody from the audience, and he's
It's
like, "Who should I pick?" Oh, bear.
It's like Brian from Family Guy or Ted, maybe even.
I would say even more Ted.
More Ted than Brian.
Or like if you did Cartman and like Towley.
Do people acknowledge Tolly?
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the poop. The little Christmas poop.
Hanky?
Mr. Happy.
Mr. Hanky?
Yeah.
Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, so let's just say that he is now incarcerated and 10 years, right? That's the sentence?
Well, yeah.
Paddington Brown. 10 years for grand theft.
It's a little harsh for a teddy bear.
Let's not forget how Paddington almost got to buy the book.
He did.
One more day, Aunt Lucy.
His job. What was his job?
Entrepreneurial
So
job.
okay, so
His job
he went on
is
a
important.
like a fun little montage.
Yeah.
I thought it was adorable. He starts off as a barber, which I got to be like, hey, Paddington, I know you're kind and thoughtful, but let's think about your abilities and find a job that maybe you would, kind of suit more. I think cutting hair is a bit, it's very bold in my opinion. Like,
If you say so, sir.
if you don't know how to cut hair.
In his defense, he was just sweeping up hair.
Oh,
all right?
I
That
thought he was a barber.
No,
the guy came in
He
and
mistook him for a barber. That's the thing.
because
And
he's
see,
a bear.
He's just a bear.
And bears are good
He's
at
like,
cutting
"Look,
hair.
I'm just here at Mr. Giuseppe's shop. I'm just sweeping up some hair. No big deal, right?
So
No
now
big
we have
deal."
like a Jeffrey Dahmer moment where he obviously roofied the guy because he just was like out. Whatever happened, he was out cold on that chair, and then
he did an old man snooze, bro. Right?
Okay.
Old man's
Old
people,
man snooze.
they fall asleep in barber chairs
You never
all
fall
the
asleep
time.
in your barber chair?
All the time.
before the haircut. But anyway, so
During.
No,
okay.
it's the bzzz.
I always do it during.
That's what happens. Yeah.
So he falls asleep, and my goodness, is this not just like a beautifully crafted comedic, physically comedic scene that just kind of if people don't marvel at it, like it's actually like an orchestra of comedy, physical comedy.
To me, it's almost like a Chaplin sort of esque, right? It's that essence of the kid, right? That like, oh, I'm just gonna fumble through life. I'm just like, and it's a ballet. That's what Chaplin
And
was.
the Marmalade, ironically, is one of the reasons he's in prison, but also one of the reasons that he got out of prison. So I just love how like Marmalade becomes such a huge element in this whole story, and Marmalade is honestly a metaphor for family, his aunt,
The recipe passed down.
Yep.
Yep.
And also camaraderie, and then food and how to bring people together through.
Well, a little trick is that from the first movie is that one of the things that Aunt Lucy always used to tell him is that always keep a marmalade sandwich in your hat for emergencies.
Okay.
And so it always kind of comes up as like the thing to save him.
Yes, bear pie.
I don't like it.
That's like the thing.
That's a Hail Mary?
That's a Hail Mary. That's the one thing that always works is just hit him with the sweets, with the marmalade, bro.
So Paddington's
Bad if he ran into a diabetic.
yeah.
Listen, man.
He's
you
a
know,
bear. He's fine. He's
Not
got
him.
good.
I'm saying like if he gave someone a marmalade sandwich.
He's got to give him a lot, which he does in this film. So
People
he's-
have peanut allergies. You know what I mean? Like it's just mistakes.
So during his
Mistakes happen.
so during his incarceration, he now is either befriending or getting enemies. But regardless, he still keeps his composure, and he by accidentally, with his marmalade sandwich, it seems to save him. Also threw a red sock into the washing machine to mix with the whites. Everyone's wearing pink now.
Here.
He's basically made enemies with everybody. But then what happens?
I think this is lesson number one about Paddington and kind of what his essence is.
He fails forward.
Yeah, man. Look, he doesn't know. He's his first day in jail. He's like, you got to do laundry. We're gonna
Never
do
done
some
laundry,
laundry. Never done laundry, right? But he figures out he's small. There's way more laundry than he is big. But he just pushes forward, and that's just like I think the first lesson in Paddington is just like, look, I don't know how to do this, but I'm just gonna put my little bear paw forward and just get.
I like
it's
it.
just such a.
He fails forward. He fails, and then he like learns from it, and then makes a good, something good out of it.
Yeah, and even when it goes horribly wrong with the red sock and all the inmates are in
Still
pink,
finds a good way.
he's like,
Hey,
I think everybody looks good.
I
in
think you
pink."
look good in pink. Well, you're gonna look good in the cellar.
You should pipe down and enjoy your dinner, because it might be your last.
Why, bash your bloody face in.
I think he's your favorite inmate. What is that guy?
What? Oh, Teeth?
Yeah, the big.
He actually
teeth,
looks like the kind of the villain in Popeye. Let's sort of
Bluto.
he looks 1940s like Mickey, a cartoon drawing. Like I've never seen something so like visually fake in my life, but real.
And that's what's good about this movie is that like, yeah, we're watching a bear the whole movie with live action around him, but you just kind of like
Accept it. Everyone
accept
accepts it.
Yeah,
Bear
it's
that went
just-
to prison.
it looks great.
Yeah.
And they're in prison, and not only are they in prison and they're eating this horrible food, but he befriends the biggest guy, Knuckles, who in the Harry Potter's movie is what's his name?
Mad-Eye Moody.
Mad-Eye Moody.
Yep.
Well, I thought it was.
Nope.
No.
It's Mad-Eye Moody.
It's not Hagrid?
No.
So someone.
He had it wrong.
So Matt, the guy with one of the professors with the crazy googly eye?
Yeah.
Alistair Moody, your new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
That was in the last, I don't know, 4?
Yeah.
3 or 4 movies?
Yeah. So, I mean, this character obviously has a reputation of just, he's the don't bite the hand that feeds you. And Paddington goes up, and his ignorance is bliss in this moment because he approaches them very honestly and even accepts it. Say, hey, I like when people criticize my food. And he's just like, oh, all right, well, thank you. Now that I know that, I'll say very slumpy and sloshy, and and everyone's like freaking out, and this
he
scene
bashes him in the head with a baguette.
This scene's hilarious, but what saves him again is the sandwich gets shoved into his mouth, and like the moment in Ratatouille, I swear the actor looked like he just ate Ratatouille. It's just like, oh.
It's the most amazing thing.
Yeah,
he's ever
and he
tasted,
goes, it's like, all right, little bah.
And he's like, now you're under my protection.
Yeah.
Nobody touch this bear.
This bear is now under my protection. Anyone who touches a hair on his back will answer to Knuckles McGinty.
But you're still you're gonna walk for me.
I think food's a good way to say sorry.
Food is in prison, dude. That is a commodity. That's a big commodity.
Yeah, and this guy brought it. He snuck in marmalade.
Yeah, how did he get that through?
He trafficked marmalade into the.
I don't know, man. But now it's everybody's crack. It is literally everybody's
thing.
So
explain so now that he's in there, he's making friends. Explain the rest. We have a guy in the loose, and the family's trying to
So on the outside, the Browns are hard at work, and that's kind of what you don't get from the second one, is that they've already established this family as ride or die for Paddington, right? At first they were very reluctant. Now they love him. He's part of the family. They're gonna do anything to save it. Mary, the mother, is like a detective.
She's gone mad.
Think about it, Henry. Someone out there knows about the Cosler for Fortune, right?
Right? The kid's awesome with trains, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Right now, he's J-Dog, right?
Well, at least I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not. Nor am I. G-Man, J-Dog, Spudbounce.
So there's all this okay, cool, this little development of all the stories of the family trying to help Paddington, right? And in the meantime, you got Hugh Grant in I don't know, 10 different costumes, going around London trying to look for this little thing with the pop-up book.
Oh, he's totally Nicolas Cage in it. They could make a total third movie that's based entirely on just his journey.
His journey through the whole thing.
They actually made National Treasure with Paddington, like a cross,
like a crossbreed already.
You have an SUV
but what is he trying to get? At the very end, it kind of reminded me of DuckTales, where the end of it is just he finally gets it, and it's this giant treasure chest of Aladdin, the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
what is that gonna do for you? Is that gonna
jewels?
Will that revive your career? Will you stop eating dog food if you
The plot is his motive this whole time is to do a one-man show,
but fund it.
And fund his one-man show
he needs
in
the
West End. And the dog commercials just aren't doing it anymore.
They're not paying the bills.
Nope.
He's a millionaire. That's where you're wrong. He looks money all over town. Look.
So he's got a few bills. I mean, everyone. Good grief, the man spends a lot on face cream.
And so that's his motivation to do all this crazy stuff. And I think his dad knew this lady and she hid these jewels for him, so he feels like this is rite of passage. I don't know, but Hugh Grant just kills it. He's in a nun costume. That weird dude with the cup is
nun
running.
Costume.
He's like,
it's a habit.
Oi! It's so British.
Isn't it called a habit there? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a habit.
Yeah.
He's in a habit. And the guard like describes her as the most beautiful nun I've ever seen.
I love it. Hey, he almost gave away himself when the cops are like, "Do you recognize this man?" Oh, he's gorgeous.
He's got stunning eyes.
Stunning eyes. Much like mine.
Oh, handsome devil, isn't he? Hmm? Dazzling eyes.
Yes, but did you see him?
No, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, what a mock trial. Like, geez. It just
Shit,
ran
fucking
through
A,
that.
dude.
So I think everybody understands that Paddington is about manners. He's always talking about his Aunt Lucy and being proud and making her proud and making sure he doesn't let people down. There's a lot of like obvious little tropes there that they've just like peppered through the whole movie. Family matters, right? Family's always going to support you and be there for you, right? Fail forward, all that stuff. But I like the one in jail. The one in jail where the McGinty, right? Knuckles says something about Aunt Lucy, and he says it twice. And then that bear just gives him that little stare. And like McGinty gets a little hot.
He hated him.
He was like, "What are you doing? What's going on?" He didn't know what was going on. And the bear just looked at him and goes,
I beg your pardon. I said.
What's going on?
"Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do that bear stare every time someone forgets their manners." And he comes out of it like that.
It's called a hard stare. Aunt Lucy taught me to do them when people had forgotten their manners.
He's like, "Yeah, don't forget, I'm a bear. I can rip your freaking head off.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give you manners."
And I think that's
is
something.
It's such a great lesson.
It's such a great lesson. So basically, what we're trying to imply here, guys, if someone's going to attack you, our instinct is to defend ourselves immediately. We're immediately going like, "Oh, bro, well, you messed up here and you did that." But what if I just looked at you and just went like, that long pause is enough to be like, okay, whoa, okay.
I did something to offend him. I need to not do that, whatever that.
Yeah, instead of saying something that you regret that most of us do, unfortunately.
It kind of resets the situation, right? So
It's that long pause where all you have to say is, "Did you forget your manners?"
Yeah.
And it's just it just diffuses everything, like you said. It just diffuses everything to be like, "Wait, let's reset
it also
this."
gives you time to think about what you're going to say next if you're the one doing the stare.
Sure. And it doesn't have to come from an emotional
And that
place.
was the only conflict. That was the only scene where Paddington actually showed a very alpha side, a very like, not alpha, I don't want to use that word, a very like dominant, assertive,
He stood up for
mature.
himself.
He stood up for
I
himself.
would say he was more of a
He stood up for his aunt
Lucy.
And
for what was right. And it basically laid it out like, "I'm going to set you straight."
Yeah.
And then guess
And
what?
Don't you ever talk about my Aunt Lucy like that again.
Right. And then boom.
But
and
he,
now we're friends
he
again.
said that.
And now we're friends again, right?
He
Like
said
right
that without
away.
saying it, though.
Yeah.
He said it without saying it, and that's the most important thing. He got his point across without verbal abuse, without any type of intimidation, but any type of like conflict, defending himself, making excuses.
Classic
or coming
check
back
yourself
at him
before you wreck yourself.
Yeah. And he didn't come back with name calling on him.
Nope.
No, he was
Well,
nice.
look at you fat. You know what I mean? He didn't say nothing.
No, he just went, and he was still Knuckles' friend, and he was like, "It's cool, I'll let it go. Don't talk about my Aunt Lucy
Yeah,
again. Don't you talk about my mama.
You found my trigger. You found my trigger.
Yeah,
and that is my Yeah,
and that was cool because he said it straight, and he's like, "I might look like a mean, rough criminal," is how he started it out. But then after jail, right? There's a down part in the movie where Knuckles tells them, "Hey, listen, we're going to escape. We got to get you out of here," right? Like the only way to prove your innocence is to get you out of here, and then we can prove that the sky is somewhere else, right?
But that would mean escape.
And he's like, "No, guys, I think I got to be patient. I think I got to wait for the Browns. The Browns aren't gonna let me down. You don't know the Browns. They're not those types of people." Knuckles just laid it out like, "No, man, people aren't like that. And one time they'll miss a visit, they'll miss something else, and then you're somewhere else, right?" Got in his head a little bit, and then the Browns miss a visit because they're out doing some gumshoe stuff, and then boom,
You in?
I'm in.
He's like, all right, I'm getting out with Knuckles. And then I'll let you take it from here. What after that? It was like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically like we're not gonna give too much away. I mean, we gave a lot away, but as far as like the as far as Paddington goes,
Scene by scene.
I totally feel like, you know, the premise of him just being, you know, not being able to succumb to any of these horrible things and then being able to get back to his family is basically like he did it passively. I don't know. Is that the word? Passive?
Yeah, no, he did it with a good heart and a good intention. You know, like all he wanted, his main focus was getting the book on the train, back with the Browns. Like it was just, you know, the type of ending where, you know, it all comes together. The whole neighborhood rallies around him because he's touched everybody's life just with his manners and his goodness. That's it.
What do you think?
I loved the movie. It was great. I thought that he was, you know, it teaches kids like to how to treat people, you know, because if you treat everyone nicely, then everyone likes you, or they should, and at least you put your best foot forward, you know.
Yeah, you show that you can rise above negativity and you can rise above it affecting you, and also show that, hey, listen, there's a good in everybody. And I think that we all of us adults seem to forget that as we get older, and we learn a valuable lesson. And this is not, you know, let's not take everything so seriously. As far as like the movie, especially, don't take the movie seriously.
Yeah, it's a talking bear, right?
Yeah.
But the talking bear in that street where he lives, it doesn't matter if you're the guy that almost loses his keys every day, or you're the person that gives the paper, or you're the guy that picks up the trash.
Everyone's treated equally.
Yeah,
and then
everybody's
also,
cool.
like for example, if you're like an adult and you're trying to become an entrepreneur, like Paddington shows you how to do it. Like you fail forward and you're persistent and you don't quit and you figure it out. You don't necessarily have to have a plan, but you just you execute, you evaluate, and then you change up something. And then he finally gets that little window washing thing going like properly. Dude.
The window washing.
The window washing is my faves.
Yeah.
I like the gadget.
Yeah, the little ladder.
Yeah, did he make that? I mean,
no, he just found it at the Browns' house. It's just he's a resourceful little bear.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Paddington 2. Have you seen it? It should be an instant classic. If you haven't, I totally recommend it. I'm gonna watch the first one. I know, guilty. I haven't seen it, but I would have never done this if I haven't been doing stream this. So I want you guys to recommend any other shows that you want us to see in the comments, and we can't not wait to
stream this.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, stream this.
No, we can't wait to see you guys again. Have a nice day.